Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to F1 Tonight Netherlands. I am your host, Daniel Hazzah Burt. And joining me, as always, he's beautiful, he's beautiful, he's beautiful, it's true. It's Adrian Statsrich. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm absolutely overjoyed now. I was a bit down in the dumps before that, but yeah, no, thank you. Just brightened my day. Appreciate that, Dan.
That was exactly the plan. I'm very pleased. Right, let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Last week was Singapore, at Russia this evening, Season 7, round number 16. And leading the way still, Boy Williamson for Ferrari tops the standings with 288 points. Just behind him, Nicky Visser closing in ever so slowly in the Toro Rosso. He's second. Ludovic in third for McLaren with 169 points. And it's Basden Brain in fourth in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate Amy Hartman right behind him, only 4 points between those two. He's fifth. Don Hermans with 101 in sixth place for Ferrari. And it's John Donker up one place after last week's good result. 80 points for him. He's seventh. Then Marcel Droning down one spot. He's eighth for Red Bull. Aston Eaglemeers up another spot. He's 54 points now in the Racing Point. Ninth for him. Guido Urshan down one spot with Aston's improvement last week. 49 points for him. He's P10. It's Ari Kopp in 11th with 39 points for Williams. Nisha Mahadra Singh in 12th for McLaren. Coon Skippers for Racing Point is 13th. And it's Paul Quarret in the Mercedes 14. Nils Ziekema in the Haas P15. Marty Party Cooper's up another spot with a good finish last week. 10 points for him now. He's P16 in the Williams. Mark Schapper's down one spot. He's in 17th now for Renault. And it's Barry Deepervane in the Haas P18. Peter Philip in the Renault is 19th. And Miguel Torney P20 in the Mercedes. Getting ever closer at the top now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, only 17 between them. Yeah, fantastic run of form from both really. Those top two drivers. Boy may struggle here. He's suffering a back start tonight, where Nicky is not. But yeah, it was an epic drive from Nicky. He led every lap of the race last week.
Indeed.
And yeah, that's he's managed to close the gap up.
Yeah, very strong performance from him last week, and as you say, it's getting close at the top. Obviously, the Alfa Romeo's really close now. Only 4 points between those two.
Yeah. I mean, they've been close pretty much all season. Actually, very close together in the championship. I think they've sat either fourth and fifth or third and fourth. Since the very first race. So yeah,
they've been very close. It's always good to sort of have a teammate you're pretty closely matched with, and they are a very good example of that. And then the midfield as well. Obviously, John Donkel, good result for him last week, so he's upper place, 80 points for him now. It's still pretty close between him and Marcel Droning, and Aston Eaglemeyer is obviously getting in the mix as well. He keeps getting further up the table each week.
Yeah, and Aston hasn't done very many races. He joined us in round 10 at Britain, and he's already found himself up into the top 10 of the table. Surely a contender for possibly top 5 come the end of the season. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he's flying up the standings since he's joined. His teammate Coon Skippers in that kind of sort of second half of the standings battle as well. Obviously, he's catching up with Ari Kopp and Nisha Mahadra Singh too. So it's close there, and obviously down from Paul Quarret down to the back, it's still pretty nip and tuck.
Yeah, and like we always say, it's very, one good result from any of those drivers will just rocket them up that table, and that will be true probably until the end of the season. To be perfectly honest, it just takes a little bit of consistency from any one of them, and they'll find themselves gaining places.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at the constructors' standings then. And it's Ferrari still in that top spot, 389 points for them. Toro Rosso in second with 351. They're still pretty close to Ferrari. Alfa Romeo with 268, they're third. McLaren now on 200 in fourth place. Red Bull still on 124 in fifth. And it's Racing Points with 79 points in sixth. Williams 49 points in seventh. Mercedes with 19 in eighth. Haas with 20. Again, I've got that one the wrong way around like I did last week. My apologies. They're ninth. And Renault with 10 points in P10. So Toro Rosso, I think this constructor battle isn't really over yet. I think it's going to be pretty close right till the end.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with the constructors' fights, yeah. I mean, you can score, as we always say, 44 points for in one race. So yeah, you can quite easily close that gap up if the the team ahead of you don't score any. But yeah, I mean, what is that gap at the moment? 38. I mean, yeah, that's not even one race really. So
Yeah,
this is anything but over.
indeed. Yeah, obviously McLaren are getting sort of in that mix in the 200s. Still a bit of a gap to Alfa Romeo, but pulling away nicely from Red Bull. And then obviously Racing Point, I could see them getting in the fight with Red Bull towards the end as well. I mean, with the momentum they've got, those two of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we mentioned earlier on in the drivers' championship, yeah, Aston Egomirs and Koos Skippers, the two new Racing Point drivers. This is only their 7th Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So in 6 Grand Prix, they've managed to score 79 points. That's fairly good going for a new team, considering as well. I think they've had 4 DNFs between them as well in those races. So yeah, they're certainly competent drivers, and that their score at the moment is nowhere, is no reflection really of their true talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a bit more consistency from the both of them. We could see them definitely moving up that table even faster than they already are. Yeah. And obviously it's really close. Sort of Williams are on their own a little bit, but again, as you said, 30 points between them. It's not even a race victory for the two drivers. So they're still in the fight, and then obviously really close down the back as well. Only 10 points separating 8th, 10th.
Yeah, and I mean, Renault have probably got the two of the most experienced drivers in this league. They're also two of possibly the least consistent and also least lucky drivers.
Yeah.
As well, they find themselves involved in an instance that not always anything really to do with them, and. Yeah, I don't quite know what it is about Renault, but they can, or they have the ability to sort of be in the top 6 really, pretty much every race.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's unfortunately Formula 1 races are a bit more of a battle of attrition than raw pace. So yeah, it's kind of something that they perhaps need to work on a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've shown their ability and promise in Grand Prix so far. So yeah, just like you say, they can get that consistency and longevity up throughout the race. I'm sure they'll see some more points on the board for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a look at the track then for this evening. Obviously the Sochi Autodrom in Sochi, Russia. A circuit length of 5.848 kilometers with a race length 309.745. And then 53 laps around this 18-corner circuit. Looking at sector 1 then, you go from the start-finish line through turns 1, that little kink there. Obviously, this massive straight from the start-finish line. Pole not necessarily going to be a guaranteed lead into the first corner with the slipstream. You can get down into turn 2. That's a tricky right-hand, sort of a double turn there. You got 2, and then that little kink, which could be 3. I'm sure other tracks would put another corner there with the quotas they like to go for. Then the long left-hander around turn 3, again, quite tricky to keep the car sort of planted through there, but leads down into that nice braking zone of turn 4. Good for an overtake there if you can get right behind the car going through turn 3. Then nice straightaway up to turn 5. That's where sector 2 begins. And then this is the corner cut zone, really. All the way through here, it's pretty hard to avoid exceeding track limits, especially through 6, 7, 8 and 9. Up to turn 10 then, and a nice braking zone into there, another good overtaking zone before the DRS straight, which takes you all the way down through the little kink. I don't know how turn 11 even exists, but it does, into turn 12. And then sector 3 leads us through this kind of very short, but quite technical sector through 13, 14, 15 and 16. Quite tricky to get the car hooked up and a good flow through there, but can certainly gain a lot of time if you can get it right. Turn 17 and 18, again, fairly straightforward, but easy to cut the corner right at the end of the lap here, so I want to be careful through those last couple of corners. And then round that last turn of 18 to complete a lap of Sochi. The first detection point for DRS is just before turn 1, and that activates down the sort of start-finish straight, if you like, between 1 and 2. Speed trap, of course, being at the end there, where you're fastest on this circuit. And the second detection point just before turn 10, and that activates all the way down through 11, 12 and into turn 13. So, What are your thoughts on this one, Adrian?
Yeah, personally, I absolutely love this circuit. It's very, I find it quite easy to overtake, and that comes from myself, who's a driver who is very poor at overtaking or making the most of overtaking opportunities. And yeah, even I find it quite straightforward to make passes, mostly under the DRS zones up the start and finish straight into turn 1.
Yeah.
And around that, non-existent turn 11 and that second DRS zone. I've got a fun fact about turn 11 actually. The radius of that so-called corner is over 3 miles.
Wow, yeah, I can see that. It's quite a big one.
Yeah, it's just so smooth. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know how they can class that as a corner, but
yeah, unbelievable.
Hey-ho. I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah, they won't class that little kink after turn 2 as a corner, but they'll class that as one. It doesn't really make any sense, but yeah, me personally, I'm another one that quite likes it. It's one of those tracks that's really got a nice flow to it when you get it kind of going well during the race and qualifying as well. Obviously, it's one of those ones, as I said, with Sector 2, that start of Sector 2 through 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's quite easy to run off the track, and it's very sort of quick to penalise you in quali.
Yeah, it's very warning heavy. This circuit can be very difficult to avoid them or to avoid penalties at least come the end of the race. So yeah, we'll see who's managed to sort of keep on top of that. I mean, it might be a deciding factor as to the overall result.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure a circuit or even yourself might get a few warnings. I know you're one to avoid the penalties, but I don't know if you could do it around here.
I can, but yeah, I'd probably be quite far. I mean, I'd be far off the pace anyway. But yeah, taking that extra bit of care to stay within the limits. Yeah, that does sometimes drastically reduce your lap times. So
indeed. Yes. Do you want to take us over to the track then and tell us who we've got with us tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Be my pleasure.
Thanks very much.
No problem. So we've got the 2 Racing Point drivers here. As I said, participating in their 7th Grand Prix. Sorry, 7th Grand Prix. So Aston Egermeers and Kuhn Skippers. Damien Hartmann is here with his teammate Basden Brain in the 2 Alfa Romeos. They're 4th and 5th in the championship. Still de Wit is here with his teammate Nisha Mahadra in the 2 McLarens. Sander Hermans and Boy Williamson both here in the Ferraris. Boy Williamson leading the championship. He, as I said earlier on, he's suffering a back start tonight, so he will be starting from 18th on the grid. Nicky Visser, his main rival, and second in the championship, he's here tonight in the Toro Rosso with his teammate John Dunkel. I think John is also suffering a back start. I haven't got confirmation of that, but he's certainly out of this session. Where am I? Paul Correa, he's here with his teammate Miguel Torni. They're in the Mercedes. Barry Deepervein and Niels Eekma, they're both here tonight as well in the Hasses. I saw Niels Eekma spin the car actually. I think it was around, if I'm not mistaken, turn 8, just spun in the middle of the on the track on the corner exit. That was earlier on in this session. I was going to keep an eye on him in Q2.
Indeed.
Oh, and we've got some other drivers there.
Yes, quite right. in perfect Daniel fashion. So let's have a look through the running order then quickly, if we can try and get all the drivers in. Aston Eaglemeers leading the way for Racing Point. Very close behind him, Damien Hartmann in the Alfa Romeo. Still a bit for McLaren is 3rd, with Kuhn Skippers sort of in Racing Point is 4th. Sander Hermans for Ferrari 5th. Nicky Visser in the Toro Rosso is P6. Nisha Madhusing for McLaren P7. Paul Correa in the Mercedes P8. Brady Deepervein in the Haas P9. His teammate Niels Eekman behind him in P10. Marcel Droning in 11th. Ari Kopp 12th. Basden Brain 13. Martin Parder Cooper 14. Miguel Torney 15. Peter Phillip in 16. John Donkel, Boy Williamson and Guido Werschen dropping out along with Peter.
And those last 4 drivers there all suffering back starts.
Yeah. Pretty close at the top. Everyone running soft tyres, interestingly, as well, for in Q1. Only one driver on the hard, that was Basden Brain.
Yeah.
So
I thought I saw one on hards. I think drivers are more inclined to use the harder tyres in the Q1 if they know that other drivers have back starts, and therefore there's no risk to the drivers that haven't got back starts of them dropping out of the session. So they know that they can just do a lap and they'll go through. They don't have to try at all, really.
Indeed. We'll see Q2 being the session for the drivers to choose their starting tyre and decide their planned strategy, at least. Obviously it can all change in the race, but what are your thoughts on a strategy here, Adrian?
I think I'm trying to remember now. The 2-stop is more effective than trying to do a 1 from the hard to the medium tyre.
Right.
I think we'll see most drivers go soft, medium, medium, as opposed to soft, medium, which is slightly a little bit too aggressive. I don't personally believe that the soft tyre can last too long around here.
Okay.
Trying to find my notes for the actual longevity of the tyres.
I know. It's one of those tracks where there's not much of a difference between the two tyres, I believe, between the medium and the soft. At least from a 25% race. I think you actually can do more laps, or at least the strategy it will give you on a 25% race is more laps on the softs than the mediums.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the thing is with the 25% races is that the tyre wears are not scaled exactly to 25% for each of them, and so therefore it becomes more effective to stay on the soft tyre for longer in those races, because they're only going to be 16 laps, 18 laps, or whatever it is. So yeah, you can do 12 and then 6, 12 on the softs and then 6 on the mediums. But yeah, obviously in these longer races, you get an idea of exactly how long they can last, and then it becomes a bit more realistic to go for make the medium tyres do the work, and then use the softs for a short stint.
Right. It's definitely a 2-stop then. No option really realistically for a 1-stop.
Yeah, I think we will see some drivers do it. I mean, you can do the hard to soft if you want to stretch the hard tyre out for sort of 40 laps of this race, and then jump onto the softs. But I think you'll lose too much time on the medium runners by doing that. And I think you'll certainly lose more than a pit stop worth time.
Just on board with Martin Partycooper, just entered sector 2 now. Just looking at the tyres that the drivers have got fitted, there's some pretty quick guys there. Obviously both the racing points on the soft tyres, that could dictate perhaps some of the tyre choices later on in this session, couldn't it, if drivers need to make it through to Q2. Obviously the faster guys on the soft tyre, they're definitely going to be guaranteed in that top spot, could push some other guys down into the drop zone.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that drivers on the medium tyres don't want to see, and that's drivers being on the soft tyre. Because we've obviously got a better chance of going through, which means that the harder runners have got a better chance of going out. But it's interesting to see the sort of first cards of the hands being played in this Q2, because of course they have to take these tyres through with them into the start of the race.
Martin crossing the line there, 1:34.718 for him. What did we see from Aston in the first one? Was it a 1:32? 1:32.8?
I think so. I can't confirm.
Yeah.
But I will, because I will rewind the stream.
There was definitely a 0.8 on the end. Alright, Cop just tops his teammate there by 7/10. Goes P1 for the moment.
32.852, yes, was Egomir's time.
Roger. Sander Herman's P3, 1:35.3 on the medium tyre. You expect him to knock quite a bit off of that, you would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, he set 33.4 on the softs. I wish I could remember the gap between the soft and the medium tyres in this circuit, but unfortunately I can't.
I think it's tenths. Like it's not that big. I've got 4 tenths in my head for some reason.
Yeah. Damien Hartman set a fairly decent 34.162 on the medium tyres. That's quite competitive.
Yeah, that looks pretty quick. Neil Zekema 155.1. He's probably made a mistake on that initial lap by the looks of it. Niche goes fastest though, 133.5 in the McLaren. He's obviously on the soft tyre. But it's getting quite regular. Oh, sorry, Adrian.
That's all right. No, sorry, again. You first.
Oh, thank you very much. I was just going to say it's getting quite a regular sort of occurrence to see McLarens at the top end of qualifying as of late.
Yeah, they do seem to have this these qualifying sessions kind of nailed down. Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to stay out of trouble in the race, and just keeping the car stable, comfortable. Sometimes, if they've got a time trial set up on, so sometimes that can really help in qualifying, but really
you in the race.
It can hurt you in the race because the tyres are just wearing out that much faster.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Sander Hermans, though, has improved that time, 134.1 for him, so he just pips Damien Hartman. He's P3 currently. Got Paul Quarret in the Mercedes, 134.5. Not too far off of Damien Zander, so that'll be a sort of a nice boost for him. Just having a look at the comments. We've got Zander commenting. Up doing that, Zander Hermans. Have fun tonight, all. Ari Kopp, good luck, drivers. Have fun, commentators. Thank you, Ari. We'll do our best. We've got Method Riss, I believe. I think that's one of the Racing Point drivers, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He's saying Racing Point for the win, of course. John Doncott, Hazzah! Beautiful commentators. Oh, stop it, John. Stop it. Yeah, I need to get my huzzahs aren't really on point tonight. Hazzah! That's a bit better. Got Ninity Stick as well. Good luck, guys.
That's niche.
Yeah. And Monster Bailey 14 saying hi. Hi, Monster. I don't think I've seen you around these parts before. Welcome, welcome. If it's your first time watching. Bit of a slow start for a Q2 session. Only 8 drivers having set the time so far with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah. I wonder if some of them are sort of sat there waiting for the track to get a bit more green, as they say, a bit more rubber down on the surface before they waste any of their own rubber, setting laps, which they'll no doubt beat later on in this session.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Very deep vein is purple in the first sector by just under a tenth on Niche. And having said that, Sildavit is also purple in the first sector by some way, actually, half a second in the first sector.
Oh, nice. Keep an eye on him then. We'll watch Berry finish his lap, and then we'll go back to Sil at the end.
Egomez as well, purple in the second sector. He's just ahead of Deeper Vein on track, so he will set his lap first. Good second sector from Deeper Vein as well. 4 tenths behind Egomez, but still faster than everybody else.
I don't know how Aston didn't cut that corner there.
Yeah.
It looks to be still valid, luckily.
Yes, it is.
And that's P1, 32.8 by quite some way, as you said. I think Berry is next up. See what he can put out the bag. P4, not too bad, 133.6. A little bit off the pace, but not too bad. I mean, he's on par with Niche.
Yes. Sildavit as well, just coming around the start and finish, just runs out of...
lovely. It's a lovely P1, 132.829. Really close at the top.
Yeah, and the important thing is, those 2 drivers, or the interesting thing is at least, the 2 drivers there on those 32.8s, both of them just ran out of ERS deployment. You're only allowed a certain amount per lap. They just ran out as they crossed the line. It was absolutely perfectly timed.
Nice. Yeah, this isn't one where you can run hot lap the whole way around, is it?
No, definitely
kind
not.
of manage that. So both the Racing Points doing well again, 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Obviously, just being in the top 10 is the important thing on this one. Q3 is where we see the drivers go for their grid slots.
They will expect to see low 32s in Q3.
Yeah.
Drivers pushing that bit harder.
You want Nicky Viss on an outlap at the moment. He wanted to get himself up the pointy end, obviously, with Boy starting down the back of the grid.
Yeah. It's kind of a repeat of last... well, it could be potentially a repeat of last week's race. With Boy starting right at the back. Boy actually made it back up to 3rd place.
Really good comeback.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic comeback. But yeah, Nicky Visser did win that from pole position, and yeah, he'll certainly be looking to do that again.
Yeah,
as you say, with Boy so far back.
I believe back starts are the same reason that UK used to be, right? Is that for clips not being sent in?
I can't confirm either way, actually. I presume so, but I couldn't tell you for certain. Don't have that info.
Roger.
Sound like Jeff?
I can't give you that information right now.
Oh, data.
Inters are the best tyre.
I know we're riding with Nicky Visser. Miguel Torni's just going to cross the line for his first valid lap.
That's Miguel.
He's looking at about... He might be in the top 10 here.
No, not quite.
No, that was some way off the top 10, apologies.
Yeah.
Misread his times.
No worries. I'm presuming Nicky is on a lap here. I'm still seeing him as an out lap on my screen, but I presume that's...
Yeah, Nicky is absolutely on a lap, yep. It's at 33.2 in the first sector. That is just a smidge off of the fastest first sector. 31.988 in the second. That is a tenth up on the fastest time slip by Sildavit.
Very nice.
So yeah, this is certainly going to be top 2, and yeah, absolutely be going through.
Yeah, it's coming through that tricky final sector there. Finding my personal experience, the car gets pretty tail happy through there if you get the power down too quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there we go, P1 32.4 by quite some way as well.
He had nice absolutely loads of ERS deployment available to him as he crossed that line as well. So yeah, he's actually toned down the ERS during that lap and set a lap 4/10 faster than Sildavit. He's
doing the opposite of party mode. Grandad mode. Niels Ekman just gonna come around the final couple of corners and complete another lap. He looks like he's on an improved run. Just a smidge though, 35.1, so P14 as it stands.
That's a shame. I don't know if he's got time to do another. I think he has, actually. I think he has. If he's got the fuel to do it,
yeah,
then he can do it.
But
he needs to chuck that ERS down because he's just using up valuable energy. Still in mode 5, so I think he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, he's not exactly flying.
Oh, there we go. He's now toned it down to 0. Let's see how hard he pushes to get to the start line.
Don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's aborted. He has aborted that. Oh, we got a new purple first sector. That is for Bazden Brayan on the medium tyre.
Nice. He's on the soft according to my screen and my leaderboard. The tyres are definitely red.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, I had it on best rather than fitted. Apologies.
Ari Kopp though, still hoping to get through on the medium tyre. I think he's definitely a risk at the moment with a lot of guys behind him still on hot laps. As we mentioned at the beginning, sorry, Adrian.
No, you first. Sorry, I'll keep interrupting. Sorry.
That's all right. I was just saying, as we mentioned at the beginning, obviously with some fast guys starting on the soft, you can see that everyone running mediums has now had to change as a result of that.
Yeah, and that often happens. Sorry, Den Brayan though, P2, 32.499.
Beautiful. He's right in the mix.
But yeah, about what you're saying about the tyres, it's quite a common practice in Q2 for lots of people to try and go through on the mediums, and then come the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes of the session, realise actually lots of people are going out on the softs, and they're probably going to push me down, so they end up pretty much all going out on the softs, which begs the question: why bother with the mediums?
Yeah.
But you know, if you are able to go through on the mediums, in fact, Ari Kopp has gone through on the mediums. At
the moment, I'm just watching Zander Hermans, and he's improved. So I think he's just going to knock Ari out.
I'm showing him as slower times actually.
Okay.
I've got white sectors in first and second.
I think Ari will be hoping that's the case, but I think he's going to improve it.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, P5 132.8. Look how close it is. P3 to P5. 829, 847, 869. There's 4 tenths between the top 5. That's
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty good going.
Yeah, I've got Zander Hermans. There's a white sector in the first one, the white one in the second, and then an improved final sector. So he could have been up overall just from that.
Maybe white is the new purple.
Indeed.
A spin-off of orange. Orange is the new black? Is that the series name?
That's the series name, yes.
Yeah, nice. Monster asking, is J Don commentating? No, he's not. He's racing. He'd be pretty talented to commentate and drive around at the same time.
Oh, what I'd like to know is which one of us sounds like John Donkel.
Yeah. Certainly not Dutch, that's for sure.
I think it's you.
Roger that. So there we go then, the top 10 getting through to Q3. Nicky Visser in first place, Bastian Bray in second, Sildovit third, Aston Eagle is fourth, Zander Hermans fifth, Damien Hartman in sixth, Koen Skippers in seventh, Nisha Mahadra Singh eighth, Ray Deepervein in ninth, and Paul Quarry P10. Ari Kopp, Marcel Droning, Martin Party Cooper, Neil Ziekma, and Miguel Torney all dropping out of Q2.
Aston Eagle is 32.847. I'm sure that's exactly the same time as he set in.
It's pretty
Q1.
Close, isn't it?
I'm going to have to look that up.
If not exactly the same.
$32.852 is what he set. And he set 32.847 this time.
Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So Q3 is upon us, and we get to see who's going to be on pole. Who's your man for P1, Adrian?
My man tonight for pole position is Baz Den Brain.
Ooh. Very nice, very nice. I am going to say... Oh, there's a lot of people in there that could have it. I'm going to say Sildovit.
Okay. Yeah, Sildovit is a multi-time pole there. I think he's had 9 this season.
Nice. Not too shabby. So you will be hoping to get another 1-2 tonight.
7. I think it's 7.
Been a while since we last called 1-2 for quali.
Yeah, only trouble is I can't see Nicky Visser being P3. I think he's going to be front row. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Aston Eagle will be the first man to cross the line, as it stands.
I forgot to mention, we've only got one driver not present here tonight. That is Mark Stappers. He has apparent internet issues.
Okay.
Not clear exactly what the issue is, but yeah, it's left him unable to race. Unfortunately, he's normally in the Renault, so it'll all be down to Peter Phillips here tonight, who is suffering a back start. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for Renault to get off that bottom spot, currently on 10 points.
Indeed, yeah. It's a shame he's not able to race tonight. So still set to have Aston start his lap first. Come around at turn 17. I'll ride on board with him as he goes around Sochi. Across the start-finish line. Down round turn 1. DRS activating just before turn 1. And the long run down to turn 2. That's heavy braking into here. Quite nice to hook these two up. Nice bit of apex there, bit of curb. And through turn 3. Many different lines you can take through here. Looks pretty good so far. Into turn 4. Careful not to run too wide there. The back end can step out quite easily if you do. Into turn 5. Sector 1 complete. Now here, there's the fastest line you can get is running nice and wide into turn 7, I believe. So you can really cut that corner, almost straight line it. And there's a lot of curb taking, obviously very risky through there because of the runoff area and the warnings you can get in quali.
Yeah, Deep Evade just invalidated his lap as a result of that.
Yeah. And that 3 mile radius turn 11 at the moment. And into 12 again, this left into right hand braking. Tricky for those running ABS off. And a good spot for a ballsy overtake in the race. Uphill now through turn 15. And 16 again. Almost like Monaco through there with how close the walls are to the track limits. Through 17, nice and wide on the curb to get as straight as you can across 18. And then across the line, 132.9 from Aston Gomez. Not his fastest time.
Nicky Visser went top until the Vit just pipped him.
Yeah,
to
32.410. 200ths between them. Very good stuff. Kuhn Skipper's topping his teammate as well, 132.5 for him. All Quarry 133.5. Still drivers running the soft tyre. Damien Hartman slotting in there as well, 32.4. So going to be another close one, I think, at the top.
Yeah, purple. All 3 of those top drivers have got different purple sectors. Sildervit in the first, Nicky Visser in the second, and Damien Hartman in the third.
I wonder what the theoretical best is from all of those sectors.
It's actually not very much faster than Sildervit's time.
Oh, okay. And Niche goes 133.0 in the McLaren. Deeper Vein and Den Brayan just waiting it out. I think they're doing, as you said earlier, Adrian, about waiting for the back to sort of rubber in.
Yeah.
I find this track quite tricky to judge in Q3 about sort of when to go out, how late you can leave it. 'Cause it's one of those ones that it's longer than it looks to get around here on an outlap.
Yeah, I mean, you normally say you just allow 20 seconds added on to the sort of hot lap time.
Yeah.
As an absolute last resort, but yeah, like you say, it can be difficult to actually navigate it at that kind of pace.
Yeah.
And make sure you get around in time to start a hot lap. Because what you don't want to do is burn out tyres on the out lap as well. That can, if you overheat, not burn them out necessarily, but just overheat them, and they'll be outside the optimal window.
Indeed. You want to give yourself plenty of time just so you can relax. Really, the last thing you want to do is have to stress out to get the car around to do your hot lap.
Yeah. And as always, we've got this period. It's normally about 5 minutes before the end of qualifying, where everybody is in the pit.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's for that very reason. You know, people are just waiting until the last possible second to set their final lap.
Yeah, yeah. Deeper Vein and Dembrain finally out though, and Deeper Vein just about to cross the line now to start his hot lap.
Yeah, he attempted one early on in this session and was invalid by turn 4, I think it was.
Okay. I wonder if the better starting position here, I mean obviously you want to be as far forward as you can, but I wonder if it's something like P2 or P3, because obviously you've got that massive run down to turn 2, which effectively is like the first big corner on the track.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're kind of safer starting behind the leader, if you can get a slipstream and then lead into turn 2, rather than having to sort of fend him off into turn 2.
Yeah, it's a bit of a unique circuit. This,
Yeah.
you know, because you know you have got such a long run before the first corner. As you say, it can be actually beneficial to start behind the leader. In fact, even P3 might be even more beneficial. You can slipstream the two guys in front of you, and you'll have time to pass them if you're brave enough into turn 1. Similarly, if you do struggle with your starts, if you do get a bad start here, it can really you can drop a lot of places very quickly.
Yeah. It's obviously the danger with such long straight. If you bog down, you've got that massive deficit in speed. 133.3 then for Deeper Vein in his Hass. It's P8 for now.
Then Brain purple in the middle sector, and not very far off on the first. This is going to be about a 32.3.
Oh, very nice. Around 17 or 18.
He's run out of juice. I don't know if it will be now.
Oh, nice. 32.3. Called it spot on, Adrian.
We're 1-2 at the moment then.
We are. Looking good. Come on, boys.
And Nicky Visserfeld.
Yeah. You would expect these, especially for Nicky and Sil. I would have thought their lap times are going to drop by quite a bit. I'm not sure if Baz can get another one in from where he is at the moment. Nicky invalidating there at turn 2. He's obviously got time to get around again, luckily. Sort of bit still in the pits. Get out there, Sil.
Oh, I can hear something revving up. I think that is a McLaren.
And a Mercedes as well, yeah. Everyone's popping out now. Well, see, there isn't any circuit where you can relax until you've crossed the line, but this one especially is one that keeps you on your toes the whole way round.
Yeah.
In quali in particular, obviously, where a corner cut isn't a warning, it's the whole lap written off. And 17 and 18 being very wide open spaces, easy to one ride or indeed cut the corner, especially 18 that last corner.
Yeah, Egomez has just gone top with the 32.302.
Beautiful.
Only purple in the last sector, but by a whole 10.
The Baz back in the pits. He's done now. So unfortunately, he's going to be P2 though for the moment. Alexander Hermans looks to be up just a bit, but not by a massive amount. Around the last few corners now, see what he can do. Well, doesn't improve, loses all that. Let's say it wasn't that much up, but he lost all of that through the last few corners by the looks of it.
Damien Harbour just coasting round to start his hot lap.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is coasting.
I think he's probably going to let these guys through by the looks of it.
That's awkward.
Doesn't want to give anyone a tow.
No.
Goon skippers, but also in that's deeper vein into the pits.
Nicky Visser has gone fastest in the first sector by just under a tenth of a second.
Roger. It's going to be close. Gomez in the pit, so he's not going to be able to improve.
Sander Herman's also on a very fast first sector.
Silver's about to complete his as well. I can't tell if his lap's invalid or not.
Yes, Silver is invalid. That is invalid.
Okay. Let's see what Nicky can do then.
Oh, what happened to Damien Hartman? Oh, he invalidated also. Oh, I can't tell because he hasn't crossed the first sector line.
Yeah.
No damage.
Nicky Visser on pole. 32-0. Lovely stuff. Sander Herman's, I don't know, he improved by 0.4, so P5 for him.
He's actually set exactly the same time as Sildavit.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. Well, we called the second row of the grid anyway, perfect.
We forgot about these other fast guys.
Yeah, I know. Unbelievable.
Congrats to Nicky Visser though.
Yeah, another good pole position there. And he does it when it counts.
Yes.
Obviously with his championship rival down at the back of the grid.
I did wonder with him invalidating his penultimate hot lap at turn 2 whether that would possibly shake him a little bit, you know, make him a bit wary, a bit nervous or whatever of you know, of pushing quite so hard. But no, he's just gone 0.3 or a quarter of a second really faster than anybody else there. So if anything, he took that as a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Damien Hartman a little bit out of position, P6. It's not normally as low as that. It did win the Season 5 championship.
Yep.
Has won a few races since then as well.
Indeed. Still 0.4 covering the top 7 in quality there. Very, very close. Bodes well for a good race, hopefully. Nicky Visser then in P1 for Toro Rosso. Another pole for him. Aston Eagle Mears joins him on the front row for Racing Point in second. Baz Den Brain in third for Alfa Romeo with Sildavit in the McLaren P4. Sander Herman's in the Ferrari P5 and Damien Hartman in the Alfa Romeo P6. Koen Skippers in the Racing Point is 7 with Nisha Madrasing in the McLaren P8. Paul Quarry in the Mercedes P9 and Brady Vane in the Haas P10.
And the rest. Oh no, there is no rest.
Yeah. Yeah, I've managed to get everyone's names in so far tonight. It's been a pretty good going. Am I online?
You are indeed.
Is that Silver Surfer or D-Burr?
D-Burr, that was D-Burr.
Oh, okay, go on. You get both of them, nice. Well, a 5-minute break then until the race gets underway, as long as no one else readies up in the meantime.
It's always quite tense this moment for the from a driver's perspective.
Yeah.
I think the atmosphere and the tension does build quite a lot in this 5-minute break, just while they're sorting out their strategies and how much fuel they're putting in the car.
Yeah,
having a double and triple check of the weather forecast and all these kinds of
checking in with Jeff.
As a driver, it's actually one of my sort of favourite points of the race, really.
Yeah.
Is this moment, because you don't know what's going to happen in the race. You know, you could be starting right at the back and have an absolutely amazing race and end up coming out on top, and it might be your first ever win. You know, everyone's got to have their first win somewhere, somehow. So yeah, you've always got to try and yeah, you always got to be positive in these breaks, just while you're sort of zoning out slightly.
Having a rest.
Having a rest, yes. I do love having a rest. Copy. Yeah, I do love a good rest, mate. Particularly right before a race. I love it more than I love jam on toast with loads of butter. That's not very much, actually. Scrannin peach cobblers, 24/7.
Just came back there to hear you uttering some funny little phrases. Very good. Good work, sir.
Thank you.
Are there any left?
Negative.
Roger that. Bloody phrase hog.
You try getting that one in.
What's that?
So you try getting that one in. That second one. Or first one.
What, 24/7?
Oh, I'm losing you.
Oh, are you?
Oh, there we go. You're back.
Roger that. That's good. Right then, drivers about to begin their parade lap. Let's go through the runners and riders. Nicky Visser then leading the way. Oh, we still good?
No.
Why?
Someone's just got a jump start. Why does it say lap 1?
Have we missed a formation lap?
Yeah.
As in they haven't put... Okay, so... Lights out, away we go!
What?
Okay, sorry, that's caught me off guard there, but we are racing. And Aston Eaglemere is challenging Nicky Visser into turn 4 there. Beautiful stuff. He's right on the back of that Toro Rosso. Just going to get the detail up so we can see the position changes, see who's gone where. The top 10, well, a big change at the bottom with John Donk up 7 places from the start. It's a great start from him in the Toro Rosso. Sealed of it, jumping Baz Denbrain. So he's P3 for now. Other than that, just a lot of losers in the position sense down the pack. Boyd Williamson, though, a great start again for him, as we saw last week in Singapore, up 6 places already. As we mentioned in qualifying, Adrian, obviously that start-finish straight, so important, and can gain you loads of places.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that straight's so long. And yeah, if you are caught napping, as I think actually many of the drivers were, because like me and you, we were expecting a formation lap at, no more than sort of 120 miles an hour. The drivers sort of peel away off the grid, and that did seem to be what's happening. What gave it away for me is that one of the drivers got a jump start, and you can't obviously get a jump start on the formation lap. It's not possible. Still did it in the pit. That is he's serving his drive-through penalty. It was Seal that got jump
The
start.
jump start, right? Okay.
That is a big shame for him.
Yeah. I guess that's probably why he was in front of Baz, I would assume.
Yeah. Now down to P19. Boy Williamson though up to 11th from 18th.
Look at the tyre and sealed of it on the soft again. Was that just a drive through, wasn't it? So he didn't actually change tyres there.
Yes, it was a drive through. Yeah.
Yeah, Aston still keeping with Nicky, and that's helping them, or helping Aston in particular, pull away from the rest of the pack here. Almost 2 seconds after 1.5 laps. All pretty as standard back from there though. Everyone kind of just following each other around. Not much of a gap between any of them really. It's sort of half a second at most.
Yeah, it's almost like a. Oh no, Miguel Torney's out. That may be a safety car.
You would expect so, but we'll see. This game loves to do the unordinary.
Mahajasing's in the pit now. That's both McLaren's. Is each other in the drive-through as well? Oh, you're joking.
Yeah, no, he's got one too.
It's both McLarens with a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, that's a big shame for those two.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Just can't catch a break. Well, we saw Sil do a great drive last week in Singapore from the back of the grid. Obviously, driver of the day last week. So we know he's good at doing this. And as you said in the sort of the track overview, it's one of those ones that's quite nice for overtaking.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'm sure you won't see him down there for too long. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just going to say DRS available this lap onwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should see.
See what Aston can do. He has got DRS open now.
Aston was half a second faster than Nicky Visse in that first sector.
Blimey. That's and considering he's half a sort of 3/10 behind, why has he not made a move on him? Do this all important start-finish straight. Almost being kind as a lead car just to drop behind him so you can get the DRS on him, and not vice versa.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to punch a hole through the air and be the lead car. It takes a lot more energy than it does to follow.
Oh, Guido's out as well in the same place, turn 13 under that bridge. Just a yellow flag will do. A safety car deployed. No, that is a full safety car. Full course yellow.
Strange, isn't it? The same incident. Yellow flag first time, safety car second time.
Maybe they were like, oh, well, it's happened twice now. Just get out there. Obviously a problem. Yeah, Aston was right on the back of Nicky into 18, but I think he got so close he spooked himself a bit and broke a bit too hard and lost that momentum down the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
We'll see the safety car out now, so he hasn't got to worry about the gap too much.
No, Sander Hermans was pushing like mad actually before that. He really caught up to the back of Dembray, who's the purple in the middle sector.
Okay.
And yeah, looked like he was going to be making the move down the start and finish. But obviously, yeah, the safety car called out now, so he's having to sort of regroup.
Yeah. We're up 9 places now. 6 at the end of lap 1. Now 9 places. John Donkel as well, doing a good job. 9 places as well. Good bit of momentum at the moment, John. Obviously up to 80 points after last week's race. So looking for another good point to finish today.
Yeah, and again, he is a capable driver. He has won a few races in his time. Obviously, been here since day dot. This is his league after all.
Indeed.
We're now in season 7, so it's what's that? He's done 130 odd Grand Prix.
Yeah. Interesting circumstance where most of the drivers are either where they started or they've improved. Only Nils and the two McLarens, the ones losing out positions at the moment.
Yeah.
Pit entry is a big controversial part of this track as well.
Yes.
People can sometimes accuse you of corner cutting when you enter it.
Yes, even though you're within the boundaries and there's completely a valid entry into the pits. Yeah, it will just sometimes automatically give you I think it's a 5-second penalty. So not a warning, but just a straight penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of penalties, Salah Herman's just picked up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. The cut turn 1.
Oh, okay. That turn 1 or turn 2?
I think it was. And
yeah, easily done. So many places on this track where you can cut corners.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's actually easier to cut the corner during the safety car period.
Yeah.
When you're actually driving slower, so the car's not being forced outwards.
Version there leaving the session. Obviously, unfortunate we've lost both him and Miguel already. I'd love to see Miguel get a point before the end of the season.
Yeah, yeah, as would I. Absolutely.
No, he's definitely capable of it. Just had a really rotten time this year so far. See, both of them were struggling at the start, both him and Paul. But looks like Paul's we think it was a setup issue, didn't we, at the beginning of the season? We think he was running sort of a time trial setup almost, or the car just never looked comfortable for him.
Yeah, it seemed to be. The way his car was behaving is sort of stereotypical of that. Those time trial setups, you know, the back end was stepping out during low speed corners, especially, which should indicate that the anti-roll setting is a bit too stiff, which you would have them stiff in time trial for that extra rotation. But you wouldn't really have them quite so stiff in races where you need the car to remain stable over a long period.
Obviously something I think he's got the hang of now anyway. In these sort of the second half of the season, he's looked a lot more comfortable, and we're seeing him in the top 10 more often as well.
Yeah, it seems to have found his mojo.
Indeed.
And you know, just before we move on from Paul Cray, I think he is a driver who is capable of wins in this league at this level in the future. And I think he has the raw pace. Yeah, it's just a matter of building his consistency and just becoming the complete package.
Yeah, he's definitely sort of a contender for one of the most improved so far of this season.
Yeah.
Often appearing in Q3 a lot more regularly. And yeah, like you say, I definitely think we could see him at the very pointy end in coming races in next season. Be a safety car in this lap, I would have thought. Yep, there we go. Perfectly timed. On board with Aston Eaglemere here as we see how Nicky gets his starts. He was pretty good last week in Singapore. A few safety cars there, and he seemed to get away pretty well each time. I think actually Aston was behind him for one of them, so
yep.
He'll be familiar with that back end of that tour also. The pressure of waiting for him to decide to go. I think he's gone just there. That back end stepping out a bit on Nicky's car, I think that's going to cost him a little bit. And right in the slipstream for Aston.
Just further back, not a good start, good restart from Boy as well. Sort of held up a little bit by John ahead of him. John making the move actually on Paul 8. Doesn't make it.
No. It's like Kuhn Skipper's Damien Hartman fighting around the outside of turn 3. I think that's a move for Skippers up to P5. Nicely done. Home as well, keeping with his top 3. Baz Brain right on the back of all of them now.
All 3-second penalty for Skippers.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's been strong from both racing points so far.
We haven't really seen a strong finish from the two of them. It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
That we've sort of seen in recent races.
But importantly, in every race we've seen really good pace from both of them.
Absolutely.
Oh, is Baz going to take second?
Oh, nice. Oh, that's a move you don't see every day. Up into the inside of turn 13. Great move from Baz up to P2. I think Aston will be thinking, I'll let you have that one. I'll get you back. See, as well, it's surprising that we're going to say this, but it's good to see Baz back up the front.
Yes.
And looking strong as well.
Yeah, he's probably the fastest driver who's never won a championship. He's won many races in the past, and just hasn't had a sort of a complete a whole season go his way. He's finished runner-up in the championship 4 times. But yeah, good to see him back where he belongs, really.
And judging by sort of Nicky's gap to Baz, you'd have to kind of think that Aston is the virtual safety car. Who have we lost there?
Oh, I thought it was Paul Cray, but it was just a penalty that popped up.
Sildovit's involved. He's lost his whole front wing. And I think that was with Martin Pardico, but Martin's got his left side of that wing missing. That's unfortunate. This is going to be another big setback for Sil, and indeed Martin as well.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
That's all right.
Before that. What are you talking about?
I think Aston's faster than Baz. Is what I was saying.
Okay.
Just basing that off of the gap that Nicky's now got to Baz, whereas before Aston was kind of right up behind Nicky. That's my only kind of reasoning behind that. Yeah.
It's it's hard to argue that. Baz is absolutely a competent driver, but yeah, as we said, so is Aston.
Yeah. Although just looking at him through sector 3 there, through the right-handers, and indeed through that last corner we just see him go through there, he's looking a bit unhappy with the car now. Just on the face of it. He's dropped a bit further back from Baz through that last sector there. So Damien Hartman's coming under fire from Paul Quarry as well. And Damie no slouch. As you say, it's Paul fighting with Damie. It holds good signs for the future.
Yes. Yeah, and he'll be really pleased to be involved in this battle. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm sure for a lot of this lap, he can see the leaders as well. Always a nice boost when you can see the pack in front as well as the person you're fighting with directly in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Both racing points well and truly in the mix. Alexander getting a nice run out of turn 10. Could he go for the move into 13 again? Oh, I think Aston's gone for it though, yeah. Said, oh, you can do that, Baz. Yeah, so can I. There you go.
Same corner.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Baz up the inside of 15.
Oh, we don't see many overtakes there.
Certainly don't. Although it's Obviously, the angle he took that made him a bit slower through 16. That's Aston's been able to get back through. And we'll see if that pace really is on. Oh, nice and wide there, Aston. Bit of grass.
Paul Cray in the pit. That's lap 10. Start of lap 10.
Let's have a look at the tyres. Do you have a rough estimate for the lifetime of the soft round here?
I'm afraid I don't know. We're going to be playing this one by ear slightly.
Yeah. It's on a new set of softs, so perhaps a wing change. Are we thinking soft, medium, medium for the stints?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nicky Visser loving the battles going on behind him. He's just letting him stretch his legs a bit. There's 3 seconds now to the this battle for second, comprising of about 5 cars.
It's going to be 6 soon because Boy Williamson is catching Damien Hartman.
Yeah, good point. We haven't really touched on Boy since the start, but he's now up 11 places. Obviously, and because of where he started, he's on the harder tyre as well, so strategy could play into this nicely for a change of the lead perhaps later on in the race.
That's fine, and of course they'd be fresh tyres as well, as opposed to the slightly worn tyres that the drivers ahead of him would have started on.
Then Brian back past Aston. I think he managed to do that earlier on in the lap. Apologies for missing that one. We got a car. Party Cooper's lost it around the outside of turn 3. Again, I think the same place he did it before, and that's his left side of his wings come off again, exactly the same way. It's a shame to do that anywhere on the track, but doing it so early, you've got that whole lap to go around with front wing damage.
That's what costs the time, is the how much of the lap you have to drive with a broken wing. And getting it replaced is only a 5-second loss, but you can lose. You can lose 20 seconds by driving without your wing.
Well, I thought Zana was going to have a go for P3 there into turn 4, but backed off at the last minute. I've got a feeling Aston's struggling with ERS management.
Does look that way, yeah.
It looks like he's almost having it comes in little fits and spurts, his pace, rather than, he's behind Baz 1 minute and then he's kind of dropping back and into the grasp of Zander. And then, he's sort of rubber banding.
Yeah, that is absolutely an ERS issue, or ERS management issue. Because what he's trying to do is keep up with Baz by using his ERS, but he's also trying to save it at the same time, and it's very difficult to do both. It's a skill in itself, being able to manage it correctly throughout a lap so that you're using it at the optimal places where you're going to make the most from it, and saving it when you won't make anything from using it. And sometimes having a driver in front of you makes you kind of forget all of that and just try to push all the time, but you can only do that to a certain point, and then you do have to kind of concede and save.
Yeah. I almost find it's easier saving ERS being the following car than it is, especially obviously with the benefit of DRS if you get it.
Yeah.
Obviously you can save a lot doing that, but just following them in general, I find it's there's less to manage. I feel like obviously the kind of psychological effect of being chased also makes you kind of more lenient on using high ERS modes.
Yeah, well, he's very wide there, and Aston, that's going to be a warning at least for that.
Yeah, there you go.
And another warning there, and there you go, that's a penalty. I think Aston is finding himself under massive pressure to remain on the gearbox of Baz Den Brain.
Almost like he backed off there a bit between 9 and 10. Zander got a great run on him there. I think he might have the move made up here with DRS, Almost like Aston took his foot off the pedal there for a sec. And he dropped way back from Baz, didn't get DRS, and now Zander's got past him. Oh, I say. But Aston's... Oh! Yeah,
he's trying too hard.
Yeah.
He's trying way too hard.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna work, was it really? Almost had an Albon there, and Luckily, he's not lost any wheels.
He's in the pit. That's a wise decision.
Yeah. Yeah, with that damage, he couldn't really carry on.
Yeah, I mean, even if he hadn't had the damage, I think he was going to pit anyway, just to kind of get out of that fight for a while,
Yeah.
and you know, recover his ERS and relieve a little bit of the pressure.
And just gather himself and relax a bit. It's not always. It's easier said than done to relax during one of these races, but something you've got to kind of try and do, haven't you? During, I mean, it's a sprint. Sorry, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and
yeah,
you've got to just kind of try and settle into a groove. And looks like that's exactly what Baz is doing at the moment.
Yeah.
That gap coming down slowly to Nicky.
Egomes reminds me a lot of a driver that we had in season, sort of end of season 4 and all the way through season 5, Hans Vandenberg, who, he used to go absolutely flat out all the time for pretty much the entire race, and sort of by the halfway point of the race, sometimes sooner, his either his tyres would be burnt out or he himself would be burnt out, and just not really able to sort of keep the car on track anymore, and he'd be making sort of silly mistakes and things. But then the following season, it was actually season 5, he was a completely different type of driver, and was able to sort of pace himself a lot better, and ended up winning the Monaco Grand Prix and bringing Nicky Visser's winning streak to an end. In fact, it was season 5 and 6. Sorry, season 5 and 6.
Yeah, obviously they were the big
Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, as you say, a driver very involved in that championship. Droning, getting past. Sorry, Adrian.
No, so just to close it out, Egomes just reminds me a lot of him, and I think if he can put himself together, but just focus a bit more and just pace himself, then he will absolutely be winning races left and right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not really a problem that I've noticed with him until tonight. In other races, he's been running. He doesn't seem to have really an issue running strong, but I know what you mean. It's almost like it comes. He's really quick for a couple of laps, and then off the pace for a couple, and then it's kind of back and forth. Yeah.
And kind of the visual impact of being overtaken, that can play with your mind, and it causes yet more mistakes. And I think that's kind of what we saw with his incident a couple of laps ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a skill in itself of knowing when to let that move happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that move was already done. Zander had got past him sort of well before the corner, but he just wanted it back so badly that he ended up compromising himself.
Yeah.
When really, sorry, Adrian.
Sorry, Dembrain is in the pit. Sorry.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, when really he could, if he was thinking ahead. He knows, right, I'm going to be behind Zander now around the last couple of corners. I'll have DRS down the massive straight.
Yeah.
So in theory, the place is just going to be mine again, at the end of the legs and that. But it's a lot to think about. You've got to think ahead. You've got to be, be ahead of the car, plan your race, keep the car on track. You're your own team, really, aren't you, in that car? For 50 plus laps.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot more to Formula 1 than just driving around the circuit.
Indeed. Be a little bit less in the next game, obviously, with the ERS mode changing. A sort of a KERS system.
Can you remember when KERS was last used in Formula 1?
In 2013, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 13. I mean, it might have been after that, but I'm thinking about the games.
Yeah.
I know in terms of the games, it was definitely 13. But I'm sure there's been some kind of energy deployment system in the cars since then, which hasn't been implemented in the game. It hasn't been like a mechanic in the game that you can use.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's right.
Damie Hartman, Nicky versus Sander Herman's all in the pits as well. It looks like 15 laps then, we can probably assume is about right for the soft.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more in the second and third stints. Don't forget these drivers, they were worn tyres on those cars when they started.
Nicky back out on track. Probably a net P1 still, I would have thought. Not been passed by anyone in the pits. Ari Kopp, as usual, having a good run in these first couple of opening laps. P4 at the moment. Actually, kind of putting up a good fight with John Donker here as well. It's good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, Ari Kopp always impresses me with his ability to sort of change his race, really.
Yeah.
You know, he may have a poor qualifying session, but he I don't want to jinx him, but he's a driver who doesn't have many retirements.
No.
And normally come the end, yeah, he's normally sort of 6th, 7th, 8th place around there, just picking up a few points, and I think we can expect that again from him tonight.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. He didn't score any points last time out in Singapore, but he's been doing the sort of the brunt of the point scoring for Williams so far this season.
Yeah. Yeah, his teammate Parker Cooper just hasn't really got to grips with this Williams, to be quite honest.
He had quite a few races out as well, didn't he? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he had a few. I think he had 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is just past Deeper Vein into turn 1. Deeper Vein on old soft tyres. He will more than likely be pitting, if not this lap, the next lap. Dronig's passed. Sander Herman's just passed Dronig at turn 3 as well.
He gave him that move by the looks of it. He kind of went wide through 3, and it looks like he let off the gas a bit just to let Sander through.
Yeah,
different strategies, which is fair enough. Yeah. I need to when you race him and lose time.
And Dronig's suffering with the also with the worn soft tyres.
Yeah. And Koenskipper's leading the race at the moment on his quali set. Boy Williamson looking really good at the moment. Not too far behind Skippers. He's staying out as well, interestingly, so if you can keep an eye on the pace agent of his laps and see how they're looking.
Yeah. Sander Herman's just passed then Brian.
Oh, nice.
I think, did he?
I did see some arrows there, up and down, but I'm not quite sure who passed who. Or if there was a move, sorry, maybe they got close, and then...
yeah, I think that's...
back to... Well, no,
yeah, because
he passed Marcel Droning a minute ago, Zander, didn't he? So...
Oh, yeah, yep.
I guess he's probably the one that passed him. Got a good amount of momentum behind it at the moment.
39.4 was the last lap set by Koenskippers in P1 on old soft tyres.
Yeah.
If you compare that with the likes of Sander Herman's on fresh mediums, he's doing a 38.3, so he's at 1.1 faster on the fresher, harder tyres. Egelme is on fairly new soft tyres, 38.4, so it's the second faster than his teammate.
Right.
Which gives you an idea of how much they're losing per lap on the wear.
Yeah, Egelme is right behind Marcel Droning here through turn 10. Should have the move made with DRS. Up to P11. Looks like Drion's going defensive. But yeah, DRS just nice and easy. It's P11 for Eagle Miz. Zander Hermans can make the move on a deeper vein. DRS again, so fairly straightforward. And yeah, nicely done up to P7 for Zander Hermans.
Deeper vein, that lap was a 40.8. These tyres are gone.
Yeah. Box. I think is what Jeff will be saying.
Bizarrely, he hasn't got the little green spanner on his dash, which means that, and that's a 3-second penalty for cutting that corner. The lack of a green spanner means that Jeff's not calling him in, and my Jeff would be calling me in.
Yeah. Does that only show when you said boxes lap, or is it shows up when Jeff says?
It shows up, when you've said box this lap, or you've scheduled your pit stop for that lap, or Jeff has said, here's a strategy change, do you want to do it? And you say yes, and then it changes the plan. Yeah. And it'll come up with a little spanner. I wonder if Deeper Vein's trying to do soft medium. And he's just trying to stretch these out, so then he can stretch the next set of softs out.
Yeah, perhaps.
And he hasn't come in. He's doing another lap.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a hard car to drive.
The two Alfa Romeos behind him have just set fastest middle sectors on the previous lap, one after another.
Baz making the move, and thought Damien was going to go for it, but holds station for the moment. You can get him into turn 4. So much more grip on those mediums, you can see just from that turn 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a corner cut.
That's the same corner that Deeper Vein cut on the previous lap. It's, also given Damien a penalty. Dembray in purple, first sector. He's nearly a second faster than Skipper's out in the lead, who still also hasn't pitted and has just picked up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah.
I'm not noticing some sort of pattern with the worn tyres and penalties.
Yeah, certainly looks to be the case. Well, one person looks fairly comfy on them though is Ari Kopp. 19 laps old and still with John.
Yeah. John set a 39.7, which is 7/10 slower than Williamson ahead of him.
Yeah.
And Kopp was at 39.3 on that lap just now.
And, this could be a move here, I think, for P3. Yellow in sector 3. Is that for? I think that's Party Cooper. Letting people through.
Has Ari Kopp just passed John Donald?
He has, yeah. That's P3 Sebastian.
And both these drivers have got the little green spanner, so both of them supposedly coming in the end of this lap, even though they're on different compound tyres at the same age.
Interesting. It almost like Ari was being held up there by John. He's already pulled out almost a second on the Toro Rosso since having passed him. Peter Phillip as well looking good up in P5. He has stopped once as well, so yeah, strategy could be good for Peter.
Yeah, it could well be. So he only did sort of 5 laps on his starting tyre. I think he was involved in an incident. These tyres will apparently do 20 laps according to John Donkel's Jeff.
Yeah.
which means that he's going to have 30, sort of 28 to go. Who knows? Can he stretch another set of mediums out? I wouldn't like to try if 20 is the optimal range.
I think that might be. I mean, if Kuhn Skipper's now 21 laps on those softs. That's
yeah.
I don't know where they'll be on, but I can't help but think it's going to be pretty high.
But you can visibly see the graining, especially on that the outside tire, the left tire, the front.
Yeah.
The inside of it is just sort of very sort of dark black.
Yeah, obviously, people that don't know, it's a brand new tyre, very nice and shiny. When you get those on, they just become more matte and matte as you go, and then you start to see these little strips appear on the outer edges. Normally, you can see there's kind of that line where it's a bit lighter on the left-hand front of Skipper's tyre there. That's just whereas Adrian's saying the graining happening there on that tyre as it's getting very old.
Yeah, it's starting to break apart.
A little bit past Nils Eekema by the looks of it. That's P13. Just looking at the stops then so far, Peter Phillip is the net leader at the moment. Everyone in front of him yet to pit.
Copy.
And at the moment, Peter hasn't got to stop again until these mediums run out of give. This could be. I mean, I don't know how much faster Nicky is than Peter at the moment, but it could be sort of bad for Nicky's race if he is being held up.
It could be, yes. Let's see now. 39.1 from Nicky, 39.6 from Peter Phillip.
Yeah, got a great run though down that straight. Pulled out almost a second again. He's getting DRS off of Nicky's teammate, funnily enough, John Donkel. Or pulling Peter along.
Just closer to the front. Oh, sorry, Deep Advantage finally come into the bit after 22 laps on those medium tyres.
Yeah.
Yeah, just closer to the front. Boy Williamson is 7/10 a lap faster than Kuhn Skipper's on the same age tyre, but older, but harder tyres on the medium versus the same age softs.
That crossover period, where the medium is the grippier tyre of the two. This stage.
Yeah. Are we holding up the pack slightly? I think John Donker's going to make the move.
John getting through there with DRS.
Bizarrely, Nicky Visser's got the little green spanner. I keep talking about his green spanner, but he's got
it.
But even though he's only done 7
error.
laps. Kuhn Skipper's in the pit after 23 laps on those tyres.
Yeah, that's pretty good going. I mean, I presume it's strategic to just try and make the next stints shorter. So, I mean, does he want to try and go to the end on the mediums now? Do you think?
Yeah, he's on the mediums.
29 laps
these
to go.
will do. Yeah, these will do 20. Well, we can see it, can't we? 23. Well, he's done 23 on the softs, so he definitely won't be going to the end on these tyres.
Yeah.
Or will he? Or will he?
Maybe. I mean, it's 29 laps now till the end of this race.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think he will.
If the softs can do 23,
he was going for the one stop, the most aggressive strategy possible, soft to medium. You can't have a more aggressive strategy than that.
Oh, wish him the best of luck. This could be a Green Skipper's. I'll be his first podium if he makes it there today. I know he's had good results, but I think he's often retired from a promising position in previous races.
Yeah.
I think Aston the only one of the two to have a podium so far, I believe.
Yes. We've got an interesting situation with Racing Point actually right now, because we've got Skippers who's just come out of the pit. He's on fresh medium tyres.
Yeah.
And we've got his teammate ahead of him, who is on 11 lap old soft tyres. So they're only halfway through their sort of usable life. He's battling with Den Breton, and we'll surely pass him at some point. But at the same time, he's also holding up his teammate. in doing
Yeah.
so.
I think the issue, as you just said there, with this kind of situation is that Aston's battling for position as well. So I think any other scenario, there probably would have been, at least in real life, a team order to say let him pass.
Yeah.
Maybe between the two of them. We know they're good friends, and I'm sure they're in a party together.
Oh, Boy Williamson's come in.
That's from his starting set of mediums, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he comes back out in P7. So he's going medium, soft, perhaps, or
Yeah. Yep. That would make sense. Because you can do, yeah. I mean, what's he got to do? 28 laps. Yeah, and he could just do 2 sets of soft tyres to cover that. That's quite easy. It'll allow him to.
Penalty
He's
there,
got
though.
3-second penalty.
Yeah. He got his car alongside a bit, but you could see Damie kind of turning in for the apex, so he had to back out of it, which is fair enough. Damie's more than sort of in the right to do that. Close the door. But yeah, once again, we're back in a situation where there's 5 cars all fighting for a position, P5 in this case. And Boy getting around the outside of Damie there. That was a great move through turn 9. Oh, Damie comes back though.
Oh, squeeze him out.
Bit of a squeezy. I think Damie's going to have the DRS as well. Well, they both do in this case. Could be 4 wide. There's many cars going into turn 13. Yeah, Boy definitely looking quicker at the moment, but Damie just a good defensive driver, isn't he?
Yeah.
Holding off.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. Got the rear gunner for Basden Brain at the moment.
It's a good, fierce fight between those two.
Yeah.
Damie Hartman and Boy Williamson. Boy should have it made here. In fact, Damie's got no energy left in the car. He's going to suddenly slow down, which Boy won't want.
Not always
really.
that fun. Don't want that. Down a big straight. Yeah, nice DRS pass there into turn 2. Basden Brain up next. Good to see Ferrari looking, both drivers looking strong.
Yes.
As well, because often it's kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
Regardless of that fact, they are still leading the championship in the constructors. So, you know, when even when one of them gets it right, it's still good enough. So when they're both on the ball, it's going to be a good result.
That's right. I think only Alfa Romeo have had a 1-2 this season.
Yeah. I think it was China. Or was that where they qualified 1-2?
China. No, they finished 1. I think it was Bahrain actually. They finished 1-2.
Okay.
For Romeo. But Ferrari have finished 1-3.
Yeah. See if Boy can make it into turn 13 here. Just alongside, just about. Gonna have to leave room for Baz around the inside. The grippier tyre though can kill. Oh, that back end on the curb there. That's not the best line.
No.
Even get the switch back though through 16. Not quite. Not always a bad thing though. As we said, DRS activation around these last couple of corners. You might want to just hold station.
Yes.
And let the DRS do the work for you.
That's right.
Which will be the case. Peter Phillip in the pits now. Fairly early, you would have thought, for the medium tyre, but going on to the softs. And there we go. Mission accomplished.
Williamson's passed then Brian.
Yep.
To 1.
2.
2.
Well, yeah, you've got to count that kink as a corner for some stupid reason.
Well, he outbraked him into 1. I count that as 1.
No, I mean the little kink, the kink after the start finish straight, that right hander.
Oh,
that's turn 1.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I know, unbelievable.
Corner quota.
Yeah. We must have 18 corners. Pretty sure last time when this track first came on the calendar, I'm sure it was 16 corners.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Now, I'm either thinking that because it was the case, or because it's around 16 and I'm just getting 16 in my head. It's one of the two.
Sander Herman's just passed John Donkel into turn 14.
Yeah, one of those. It was made. He did it through a corner. No corner names here in Russia. I did have a look.
They're not named.
No, there's no corner names here. I feel like it's only like the historic tracks that have corner names.
Yeah, well, this track's only been in on the calendar since 2014. Same year as the Winter Olympics. I remember that in Sochi.
I mean, if you think about it, it's tracks like, you know, Britain, Brazil. I think there's other ones, but they've been there for a long time, is what I'm saying, and they've got corner names.
Damien Hartman's just pitted in for soft tyres, so he will certainly be stopping again.
Yep. Oh, my phone rings. Sorry about that. I feel like this is one of those circuits where the strategy in particular is not really going to favour drivers like Sil that have had poor starts.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's got that one-stop kind of feel, hasn't it? Like everyone pits at this point and then they just carry on.
Yeah. I think what Sil needs to see is a safety car to be able to recover back to his sort of plan A.
I mean, we know he's got the pace.
Just trying to work out if he's going to have to stop again. He's got to do 20.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he will be
24
okay.
laps on these.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But he can go to the end. Damien Hartman will have to stop again. Niche maybe will. That's going to be 38 laps at the end of the race.
I thought we had a new driver there.
What?
Niche maybe will.
Niche maybe will. Classic. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, Aston's going to have to stop again, so will Peter. I would have thought Baz will. Potentially. John's obviously going to have to stop. But I think a lot of those guys are too far in front to really have an effect on Sil's position.
Yeah, well, Sil is 42.8 seconds off of the leader. He's a pit stop away from, let's see, Peter Phillip.
Yeah. Boyd Williamson here should have to move down on John Donkel. DRS wide open, as it were, as opposed to sort of semi-open.
Ajar. DRS ajar.
And yeah, there you go. Move made. P3. Fry 2-3 as it stands.
Wonder how Nicky's feeling right now, knowing that Boy Williamson is just over 6 seconds behind him. Although he doesn't have to stop again, Nicky, and Boy does. Boy will be able to just push like mad until the end of the race. In fact, Nicky may have to stop again.
I was just thinking, yeah, because obviously we haven't really seen anyone do more than 30 laps for sure. And by the end of this race, it'll be 37 laps on Nicky's tyres. Niels Eekema approaching 30s on 28 lap old mediums at the moment. 29 laps as well for John. I would have thought he'll be okay. And I think in his instance he'll have to be okay to try and maintain the lead. Yeah, I don't think though, I mean if he knows he can do it, then I think his mindset's going to be pretty good, because he knows that Boy has got to stop again and then get back to him on track.
But if Nicky has any doubt in his own strategy right now, I think that's gonna hurt, because he can't. If he pits in, he definitely won't beat Boy, and if he doesn't pit in, he might beat Boy. But
I mean, the option is
tires will be dead.
Yeah, I mean, he can try and match Boy and just go to softs at the end when Boy stops.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing that Boy has got to stop again, he can just go to softs when he wants, and that should negate any pace advantage that Boy will have at the end. Obviously, Zander Hermans is in the mix though, and he's probably not going to do that. So he might have that on his mind as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point there, Dan. Actually, yeah. If he just pits at the same time as Boy,
Yeah.
they're sort of even Steven.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's easier said than done when you're leading because you can't anticipate someone behind you stopping. Whereas you could could follow someone in if you were behind him. Whereas you can't do that from the front. But obviously, just the fact that he's got to pit again, it means that he can just stop. You know, whenever he kind of feels is the right time for him, knowing that Boy will eventually have to stop, even if he doesn't stop before him.
Yes.
It
makes sense to me.
Yeah. I think we got it pretty covered there. We didn't call a winner, did we? I think Nicky will win.
No, I'm going with Boy.
Yeah?
Yeah, all team tactics over Ferrari. Sandham just lets Boy through.
Switcheroo.
And Sander gets the DRS as well, so that's going to help his energy recovery.
Now this is different now. This could put some pressure on Nicky. I mean, I think from our point of view, as commentators, I think we've got the strategy worked out. I think he's safe. But obviously, it's different when you're racing.
You think Nicky's safe?
I think in terms of being able to pit when Boy does, or match Boy, and you know, be on the same tyre at the end. I think that's he's got a safety net. What I'm saying is, I don't know if he'll be thinking about that. You know, all he'll be thinking is, "Oh, Boy's behind me now, right from the back of the grid," and he's gonna challenge my lead.
Boy now is 1.3 seconds behind Nicky. His last lap was 1.5 seconds faster than Nicky.
Yeah. Up 32.53. I've missed the halfway point just a tad, but you are of course watching F1 Tonight Netherlands. I don't know, do you think it's better when I say it in a quieter voice or when I shout it?
No.
This is F1 Tonight Netherlands! Season 7, round number 16, the Russian Grand Prix. And we are 32 laps in. Just over 20 to go. There's still a lot that can change, go wrong, go well, stay the same. Listed all possibilities there, just so I cover all areas. Damien Hartmann still pretty close with Aston Eagle Miz.
Yeah, Damien just set the, I think it was the fastest lap of the race on his previous lap.
Yeah, Damien should be okay to not pit as well now. So he can stay out on those softs. Obviously at the end, Aston might come back at him with the grippier tyres. It's a good recovery drive though so far from Aston, obviously with that damage he had earlier in the race.
Yeah, Boy's just taken the lead.
Yep, my apologies. I'm sure it was a pretty standard DRS pass though, nothing too exciting. Good job nonetheless. A P1 for Boy.
John Donkel has just pitted in after 32 laps on the medium tyre.
Okay. So let's. Well, again, I think even if we assume 32 laps is about where you want to go to, it's different, isn't it? When you're leading the race or at least challenging for the lead.
Yeah.
You kind of say, right, I'm going to have to just go to the end now and hope they work. But if it is 32 laps, then Nicky will have an issue.
Yeah, he's got to do another 20 from here.
Yeah. Oh, you look like he went really deep there through 14. And the penalty for Paul Quarry, of course. Penalties could play into this result. Not sure if you're able to check, Adrian, what the leaders are looking like penalty-wise.
Yep, certainly.
Thank you all. And again, though,
Boy
Russia.
Williams-
Sorry, go on.
Boy Williamson 3 seconds. Nicky Visser, he's only got 1 warning.
Okay. We'll be happy with that. You know, Jeff normally does let you know if the car behind's got a penalty. Oh, we lost Paul
Craig.
Turn, looks like just before turn 10.
Oh, if
Safety
this is
car
a safety
deployed,
car,
yeah.
and it is a safety car, that has saved Nicky Visser.
Yeah, I think it's saved a few drivers here. Damien Hartman's been able to get right in the pits because he was just coming around. That's good for him. I'm trying to think. Could he inherit the lead?
Who's that, sorry?
Damie. Having been able to get in the pits kind of first. Everyone else in front decides to stop. I guess he could, couldn't he?
It's possible. Yeah, but everybody's got a pit ahead of him,
Yeah.
and some of them only pitted last lap.
Yeah. I mean, John won't. Peter might. Just to guarantee his tyres will go to the end, but then that's if he's got another set of softs. And the real kind of game of poker is at the front. And it'll be Boy and Nicky that will be thinking, right, what do I do now? I feel like Nicky will pit. I don't think Boy will.
I think they're both coming.
Yeah?
Yeah, both going to come in.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, Zander in as well. Well, Skippers will come in too, but we'll see. I feel like Skippers, yeah. I had a bit of a feeling that he wouldn't.
I don't know why he didn't do that, because we're within soft tyre territory.
Yeah.
I think he's shot himself in the foot by not taking advantage of that.
I think Skippers is a great driver. Let me just make that clear. But I feel like he's one that thinks track position is everything. So he's seen, right, they're all going in, I can lead now. And he's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My tyres aren't soft to start with. And they're 11 laps old.
Yeah, I don't know if he's quite as sort of naive as that, but I think.
No, I don't mean it in a bad way. But
Yeah.
I think like when you saw how long he went on the softs, I can't work out that was strategical or if that's just because got to keep going.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's very rigid in his strategy calls. You know, he's chosen a plan and he's doing everything he can to kind of stick to it.
And I'm the same, in fairness. I'm not a big fan of change. Yeah, often it's either Jeff's way or it's Jeff's way.
Yeah. Oh, then Brian didn't come in either.
Okay. Now that is
And he's
interesting,
on-
obviously, because they are old tyres.
Them tyres old.
Not yet. Them tyres old, brother. Yeah, they're not. I suppose they're right in their kind of optimum. But he's going to be slow at the restart, given how they won't warm up as well as the soft tyres.
Yeah. I mean, it's a free pit stop effectively, and he's declined it. Because now we'll lose a lot of track position. Both of these will once they pit.
I'm surprised Damie's so far back because he stopped twice now under this safety car. He has.
So not stopped twice under safety car. I think he stopped 3 times in total in this race.
Because he was the first one to go in under the safety car though, but now he's miles back.
He stopped.
Because he came into right as the safety car came out. I would have thought he'd be in the mix more than being this far back, but could be wrong. No, maybe this is right.
Surprised he's on the medium.
Yeah.
Unless he just didn't have a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, that's possible. And obviously, as he was a Q3 runner, it's entirely possible, isn't it, that he might have run out of soft tyres.
Yeah.
Especially as most of the drivers, except for Baz, ran the soft in Q1 as well. So that's that could contribute to that as well. It's very quiet from the helicopter view, that's for sure. Nice and peaceful up here.
Quite serene.
Yeah. Some helicopter noises would be nice. I'll do it for you. I bet it'd be great being a cameraman in the helicopter for one of these races.
Imagine that. Imagine if that was your full-time job.
Yeah. I watch F1 races from a helicopter.
Oh, Eggomez has left the session.
Okay.
So his AI has taken over.
Yeah, great.
It's not normally a problem during the safety car, but once it's not a safety car, it will be a problem.
Yeah, and I feel like it's always back. A bit of lag from his point of view anyway. Probably just where he's rejoining a safety car in this lap. And both the top two are on medium tyres, which I suspect will be cold, so I might watch this one from Boy's point of view and see what kind of start he gets behind him. I think Boy's going to have the upper hand here. Let's have a look. Here we go then. Yeah, it looks like he's gone there. Not bad from Kuhn actually. That looks pretty good. He's pulled out 7/10 on Baz. It's all sort of status quo behind. Not much change going on.
I expect some change in a few corners' time.
Yeah.
I think once these we're going to see how bad these worn medium tyres are versus fresh softs.
Yeah, looks like Zander Herman's back past Peter Philip. And now on the tail of Nicky Visser.
Oh, Phillips into the back of Zander Herman's.
Damage?
Yep.
Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, that's going to be red left. That's going to be a pit stop, unfortunately, for Peter. Oh, he's looking so strong as well in this race.
Yeah.
That's at least a positive to take, because he's had really good pace today. I'm surprised how grippy those mediums look. Still, given we just had a safety car period.
Yeah, agreed.
Boy's going to have the move here, though. Nice. No DRS yet, of course, but looks to be made. Yeah, you can just see Boy was much later on the brakes there than Baz. Up into P2.
Boy's now put some traffic between him and and Nicky. Both Boy and Nicky just racing to the end now. They're obviously on the same age tyres, and this is just a battle to the end between them.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with you, Adrian. Nicky is not safe. I think if the safety car hadn't come, he would have been. I'm not sure I agree there. I think no.
Well,
that's based on Boy pitting again. You know, when that safety car hadn't come out, I think he would have had to stop again, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I think the pace differential between what he was doing on fresh softs versus half-worn mediums, I think that was more than enough to make up the gap, I think.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
And also, if you're Nicky and you've got the championship leader, closing in over a second a lap, every lap, and you're always keeping an eye on the time difference.
Yeah.
Or the gap to the driver. I think that is enough to play with your head.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nicky's definitely going to be not best pleased with the view he's got in front of him right now.
Oh, he's just tagged the side of Dumbrien's Alfa Romeo.
No damage by the looks of it. I don't see any end plates missing, so I think luckily he's gotten away with that, but unfortunately he did go slow through there, didn't he? And that's let Zander back through.
Yeah. Yeah, definite contact, but yeah, no damage. That is confirmed.
And this should be a boy up to P1. DRS enabled now. Oh no! Oh, he's gone. Where have we lost him? That's exit of turn 16. I think the back end must have just stepped out on him. Boy back up past Kuhn Skippers for the moment.
Nicky down to 5th.
Yeah, the tables have turned, haven't they? That's for sure. I mean, you've got to be... I mean, there's no... No, I mean, in terms of how quick Boy is, there hasn't been much of a change between this and Season 6. I think it's just, you've got to be impressed by that mentality swap that he's gone from, I'm not number 2 anymore.
Yeah.
I am number 1.
Yeah.
And he's done nothing but show that all season, really.
Yeah.
Especially the second half in particular.
Yeah, the half that matters, really.
Yeah. That last stretch to the end.
Yeah, he's been absolutely relentless. Every race this season. Even the ones where he doesn't necessarily do well, he does enough sometimes to to limit the gap.
Yeah, like last week's a good example of that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Started last and finished 3rd.
Yeah.
Here he started 18th and he's leading the race and looking like winning.
Yep. I don't know who's got fastest lap at the moment.
Who did?
Currently Damie Hartman.
Sander Hermans is about to get fastest lap now.
Now?
Now?
Did he do it?
Oh. No, he didn't get it.
Damn you.
35.639 wasn't the fastest lap. What is the fastest lap? 35
something. Nicky Visser up past Baz, up into P4.
35.536 is the fastest lap.
And what was Zander?
Zander got 35.639.
Right, okay.
He had purple first and second sector and didn't get it.
Damn.
Yeah, so like I was saying, but Williamson, started 18th, is leading the race. Nicky Visser started on pole.
Yeah. And he's now 4th. Unfortunately, though, it's all part and parcel of the racing gods and handing out safety cars.
Yep, exactly. I mean, Nicky Visser is absolutely no slouch. He's season 6 champion. Won multiple races. I think he won 5 in a row at the start of the of his championship-winning season. So I mean, he's absolutely a top class driver, and for him to not be winning this race from the position he was in is quite remarkable, and is a real credit to Boy, really.
I mean, and interesting enough as well, Boy's kind of done the same. I'm pretty sure he's had a 5-win streak as well this season.
Yeah, I'll have a look back at that. Yeah, I think that is certainly the case.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know this, or if I need to check back on the stream later on. But how did Nicky end up behind Boy? Was it just through the pit stops? So he was leading, wasn't he?
It was. I think it was the strategy. I think because Boy went for. He started on the fresh mediums. He pitted around. I think it was around lap 22. Then planned to go to two. He was going to use 2 sets of soft tyres.
Yeah.
So his first stint on the softs was absolutely phenomenal. Okay, he was catching a second and a half every lap to Nicky, who was on worn mediums.
If I'm not mistaken, though, the safety car came out with Nicky in the lead.
Yes.
Yeah. So they both.
No, did it? No. Boy made the overtake in the second DRS zone.
Right.
He pulled out at a gap of about 3 seconds, and then the safety car came out.
Right. And Zander Herman's now past Kuhn Skippers as well, so Ferrari 1-2 as it stands.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adrian, you were gonna say, I think.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna elaborate a little bit more. But what I was gonna say, I can't remember.
Roger that. Thanks for that in-depth elaboration. It was about we were talking about the pit stops, if that helps.
Yes. So yeah, Boy. So if the safety car hadn't come out, Boy would have continued to keep putting away. I don't know how far away he would have got. He maybe 10 seconds or so at that pace until the tyres ran out. Then he would have lost 22 seconds or so in the pit, so he'd be down to 12 seconds behind Nicky again. Nicky wouldn't be pitting in. And then there'd be sort of 16, 17 laps of the race remaining, and again, Boy would be able to push like mad because those tyres can do 24.
Yeah.
And he'll be gaining a second and a half a lap again to Nicky, and I think he would have done it on the strategy.
Yeah, exactly as you say. It was strategy, wasn't it? Well, I just saw a tumbleweed.
Did you?
Tumbleweed spotted. And it looked like it. I think it was actually some like I don't know what you call it. Just a flying bit of kind of almost like damn it. What are those little, the plants you get? They're like dandelions.
Oh yeah.
Almost like one of those little dandelion things flying around. See a lot of those actually. I think you get a lot of that at what was round 14? Italy. I think Italy you get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicky Visser and Kuhn Skippers going at it. That's some good wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah, I think Nicky's error was certainly with the strategy. I think he it looked like he was planning to do a one-stop. And I'm looking at when he pitted what he was using, because it didn't. Yeah, because like we said, it didn't look like he was trying to, or he'd planned on stopping again after
I think
put
it definitely would have
those
been,
mediums on.
I mean, it would have been a lot. It would have been 37 laps, I think we said, on the mediums that he was on.
Yeah, so they'd be dead by that point, and I mean, Boy might have been gaining 2 seconds a lap by the end of the race.
Yeah.
I think if they were on identical strategies, I think Nicky would have won this race.
Yes, I think I concur. But as Boy's shown a lot this season, he's pretty good with the odd strategy. Then again, so is Nicky, especially when it comes to the wet.
Oh yeah.
They're very comparable drivers, aren't they? Really, the two of them. But I think the main difference, and I think we've discussed this before as well during a stream, is that Boy can do. Yeah, Nicky and Kuhn getting a bit hairy there.
There was contact.
And what I was. Oh, there was.
Yeah.
I think Nicky's got away with it again. That indestructible Toro Rosso front wing he's got on. I was just going to touch on something that kind of relates to what we just saw there as well. I think the Boy can do this better than Nicky can. But then Nicky can do the front bit better than Boy can. Yes. So Boy can do the fighting through, as we've seen many times this season, from the back. But when Nicky gets in this situation, he's not quite as... doesn't dispatch them quite as quick as Boy does, it would appear.
No.
And I mean, I'm not saying that Boy can't do the leading bit, because as you can see, he's pulling out a gap on his teammate. And he's done... I think Belgium comes to mind when you think of a gap he had on the rest of the pack. I think Boy won that by quite some margin. I think Nicky in particular is much happier at the front, being able to lead away, than he is kind of in this position trying to overtake.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. If he'd got the strategy bang on as well, or even just matched matched boy strategy. Yeah, he would absolutely be leading this race, and probably by some margin as well. He would have led every lap.
Fair play to skippers though to to be fending off Nicky on 21 lap old mediums.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be in vain come the end of it. Be in deeper vein at the end. Classic. But yeah, I mean, even for the moment, he's doing a good job. Unfortunately, I don't think today's going to be his first podium, but he's got pretty close.
Speaking of deeper vein, we haven't really talked about the Haas drivers. Both of them still in the race and both in the points. There's only 3 points between them, but
and they've been sat on 20 for a little while now in the standings, in P8. In contradiction to my standings you saw on the PowerPoint, which I keep getting wrong. But yeah, so it'll be a nice change, and that'll definitely put them above Mercedes now, even though they already are. But yeah, good solid drive from those two in the points. Also worth touching on Aston Eagle, Mears and Sildavit, who are currently fighting for P6. Both of those guys having to do recovery drives, damage limitation really, for their races, and they've done a pretty stellar job back in the points from where they have been. Yeah,
I mean, Sildavit pitted, he pitted twice, didn't he? He had pitted on the first lap for his jump start, and then I think it was about the 6th lap or so for replacement wing.
Yeah, and he also lost that wing at the start of the lap, I think at turn 3, so he had to do a whole lap without a front wing as well on top of that. So he's recovered quite a lot of time this race.
Yeah, he's done well. He is good at recovery drives still.
Yeah.
Recovery drives and qualifying seem to be his specialities. Another future champion, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think was it his first win this season?
Yes.
It was Canada, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
In brilliant Hamilton fashion. I mean, if there's any drive you want to replicate, it's that one. Hashtag thanks guys. Hashtag best fans. I'm surprised Nicky's taking so long to get past skippers, to be honest. I also get that it is one of those tracks where DRS sort of helps the driver you want to pass keep in front, because obviously you get the DRS down the back straight, but as long as they stick with you, they get it down the second straight, and they can just take it back again.
It's often the quickest way for both of you to get around the track. Actually, you see a lot of teams do that. One overtakes the start and finish under DRS, and the other overtakes in the second DRS, as you said.
Is he going to challenge? Not quite. I think there could be a bit of sort of hesitation for Nicky as well into that corner, obviously, where they got pretty close a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, oh, he's done it there easy.
Oh, nice. That's a brilliant move.
Inside.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's great. Yeah, why do it into the braking zone when I can just do it really quickly through a through a high downforce corner?
Yeah.
With much more risk.
But crucially, much more grip.
Yeah, indeed. Very nicely done. Just looking at the position changes in this race. 17 places going for Boy Williamson, currently leading the race. 3 for his teammate, Zander Herman's Ferrari, having a really good race today. Koenskipper's up 3 places. Obviously, Nicky down 2 at the moment. Kind of get the feeling that's going to be the case till the end at the moment. John Donkel obviously up 12. He's done a really good job this race. Really nice 10 points for him. I think actually that's going to bring him quite close to who I forget who's in front of him. Is it Zander on 101?
Yes.
E5, I think, or P6. Dan Brain and Neil Ziekma. Is that you watching that?
No.
What were you going?
Because I couldn't. Trying to think of the points.
Oh, okay.
It's hurting me head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 101 for Zander. Currently 80 for John. Five laps to go then. Does your, I mean, obviously you've driven many a race in F1 tonight. Does your mentality kind of change in these last kind of moments? Is it less about surviving and more about, right, let's go? Or do you kind of keep that same mindset all the way through?
Well, surviving is always top priority for me, as well as avoiding penalties, because you know, I know that lots of drivers will rack them up, particularly at a circuit like this. So yeah, that is probably those are the two most important things for me. In terms of pushing in the dying stages, I think it really does depend on sort of what you've got going on around you, the drivers ahead of you, what tyres they're on, how hard you think they've been pushing, and how much grip they've got left. I think if there's even a small chance of taking the place from them in the last stage, I think you've got to go for it. Otherwise, you're not so much a racer as just a driver. But yeah, I mean, if drivers ahead of me are on fresher, softer tyres, I wouldn't even attempt to increase my pace to try and catch them. I would only be focused on the drivers behind me and have a look at what I might need to do to maintain my position.
Yeah, it's quite an important part of the racing, isn't it? Is to kind of know when your race is done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just said, when someone ahead of you is on the quicker tyre, it's like, well, there's no point me risking my race and trying to chase them down when that's not going to happen.
No, you've got to be sensible.
Yeah. Right, and like you hear all the time, it's not a quick 100-yard dash, it's a marathon. You've got to stretch yourself out.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't back off completely, because, you know, as long as you're able to keep some sort of pressure on the guy ahead of you. Yeah. He might not be aware that you're on really old tyres. He might think that you're actually catching him, and that can cause him to then make a mistake and go off, and then yes, you will then get the position. But yeah, I'd almost certainly never go for. I don't go for many overtakes anyway, but I wouldn't go for an overtake on a driver who's in that sort of scenario.
Yeah, I feel like the no overtake Adrian though is pretty much on the way out.
Yeah, I'm all balls to the wall now.
Indeed,
apparently.
Yeah. I mean, obviously viewers won't know this, but me and Adrian raced in our own co-op championship, and he did a Mika Hakkinen in Austria last night, from dead last to P2. I think actually he did better than Mika Hakkinen. So
yeah, I think Hakkinen got third.
Yeah. So you know, the Michael.
and remember, I am a driver who cannot overtake.
Yeah, he can't overtake, but yet, you know, last a second, no worries. I'm kind of just darting around loads of drivers at the moment. Not really. There's no real flow to my camera work at the minute. I do apologise. I'm just passing the time.
I've got a bit of a funny stat for you. Not a funny stat.
Go on.
But
if I don't laugh, then I'm going to be disappointed.
It's not that funny.
Okay.
Kuhn Skipper's 26 lap old tyres. He's just set his fastest lap of the race.
Nice.
36.8.
Stop it, Adrian. You funny guy.
Well, Williamson's done the same thing, 34.7, and that's not the fastest lap.
What is that? Who keeps getting the fastest lap? I keep missing it.
Bazden Brain 34.3. He's in
Ah,
P10,
okay.
so he will get the point.
Nice.
Sander Hermans has quite a few penalties. I don't think he'll be remaining in
Ooh.
second place.
Yeah, Damie just got another one there for cutting turn. So that exit of turn 2.
Sander Hermans has 18 seconds of penalties.
Blimey. And Nicky's still got none?
Nicky has...
It was just one warning last time we checked. I mean, it was a while ago.
Bizarrely, he's got 3 warnings, but no penalties. I presume that one of the
Fair
warnings
play.
might have been for a collision rather than a
Right, okay.
So Sander Hermans, he's 4 seconds behind the leader at the moment. He's got 18 seconds of penalties. That'll put him 22 behind the leader, which will put him 8th.
Yeah. That's a harsh one.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I know drivers behind will have penalties as well, so
Yeah.
not necessarily be 8th, but
It's sort of one of those
unfaithful.
tracks where penalties aren't that important because everyone's going to get them, but the important part is not getting them at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the case with every track, but here in particular, obviously, where everyone's going to be getting them, if this is one where you can nail it down and not get any, you've got a good chance of moving up quite high up the table as Nisha gets past Niels Eekman there into turn 13.
But yeah, that's quite right, because if you can if you can avoid penalties at a circuit where everybody's getting, say, 22 seconds, you've then gained 22 seconds, which is very difficult to do in just by
Being
racing
fast.
harder.
Yeah. Because, I mean, on other tracks, being careful is important because it can always give you a place if you're close to someone in front. But at most tracks, not everyone's getting penalties.
Yeah.
So by not getting them, you don't always gain as much. But in this, like this one in particular, you can keep it clean and you've got every chance of kind of gaining quite a lot out of it.
We had a yellow flag for a stationary Hass. That was Niels Eekman at turn. I keep calling it turn 1. It's really turn 2.
Lost his end plate. Did he spin around or something?
I believe so. He was off track and his dot wasn't moving. By the time I got to him, there was quite a lot of smoke and he was pointing in the right direction. So
right.
Jimmy he did spin.
That's a shame. Obviously, both those guys in the points, that would have been good for the team.
That's another one we jinxed. We also jinxed Ari Kopp earlier on. We said that he very rarely crashes out from a race, and he crashed out. So, sorry, Ari.
Yeah, sorry about that. Last lap of the race, though.
Only 4 retirements. I know.
Yeah, I mean,
we've still got half a lap to go, but only 4.
Yeah. I mean, again, though, it's not. Well, actually, I was saying that it's one of those tracks where you can quite easily lose the back end. I find, in particular.
Yeah.
But obviously, one of the reasons you get so many warnings is because there's so much open space, and that also leads to normally not that many incidents.
Race leader coming into the last sector.
Indeed. Round 15 and 16 for the last couple of times, or the last time this race. And round the final corner, he's done everything he needed to do from back of the pack to P1. Boy Williamson wins the Russian Grand Prix. And, for the moment, at least, Sander Hermans is P3. Nicky Visser ends up P2 with penalties. Kuhn Skippers.
John Donkel P3.
John Donkel P3 in the end. Brilliant work. Great stuff. That's a brilliant result there from... he's gained many places this race. Both Toros on the podium again. We've seen them get some good results as a pair. And with the left part of his wing missing as well. Good work there, John. In the end, Aston Eagle Mears ends up passing his teammate after penalty. So P5 in the end. That's a great result for him after a little incident earlier on in the race. Skipper's then 6th. Zander Hermans keeps 4th in the end, which is good. Not too much of a loss. Deepervein is 7th. So he gained quite a bit as well from penalties. And other drivers finished also. And WhatsApp when you can, Adrian.
I don't even need to look at it. Boy Williamson is driver of the day, 100%.
Perfect.
I presume that's what you just said.
Sort of, yeah. But yes.
Yeah, no, definitely Boy Williamson.
Perfect. Good stuff. The Boy Williamson driver of the day. Did a brilliant job, as he has been doing on the regular as of late. I mean, yeah, to overturn that kind of start and indeed lead that Nicky had is quite a strategical feat. And just that, and pace as well. So we got to Deepervein, Sildervit then P8, Basden Brain P9, Damien Hartman rounds out the top 10, both Alfa Romeos there scoring points, as well as both racing points for the first time in a few races, I believe.
Yep.
Nisha Madison P11 for McLaren, with Peter Phillip in the Renault P12, Marcel Droning in the Red Bull is P13, Neil Ziegler 14th for Haas, Martin Parley Cooper 15th for Williams, and then the guys not able to finish in the end, Ari Kopp in the Williams, Paul Quarret for Mercedes, Guido Ocean for Red Bull, and Miguel Torni for Mercedes as well. All unable to finish this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, Nicky was a bit unlucky, really, not to win there, as we said. Strategy was an issue, but then the safety car that gave him a bit of a lifeline, because it allowed him to have a fair fight with Boy on the soft tyres to the end of the race, and for whatever reason it wasn't the fight he won.
No, unfortunately not. But there we have it. Another pretty good Grand Prix there for F1
enjoyed that
NL. That was good. Yeah, so it's always nice when you don't know what's going to happen. You know, it's much better than having someone just run off into the lead and that's it.
Yeah,
that was a very exciting race to commentate and watch. We have got the end screen now up for everyone to see, so obviously back this time next week. Well, not this time, because that'll be very late start. But back at 7:30 British time, or 8:30 PM for you guys in the Netherlands. Next Tuesday the 18th for round 17, the Japanese Grand Prix. Also at Suzuka International Racing Course. The only figure of 8 track on the calendar, so that's going to hopefully be a pretty exciting one. We hope. Fingers crossed for next week. But as always, thanks to everybody for watching and tuning in. I'm going to quickly check, see if there's any comments that I've missed. Nope, all looks pretty good. So yeah, thanks as always to everyone for watching. Thank you, Adrian, as always, for joining me and making the commentary very, very fun indeed.
Always a pleasure, Dan. Always a pleasure, you know that.
Absolutely. And anything for you to add?
Not tonight, no.
Perfect. Not ever, as it stands. Actually, I think your record of adding something at the end is pretty low. not that it matters, of course. But yeah, there we go then. Thanks to everyone for watching. It's Hazzah from me,
and it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.